come a mia sorella.
Mamma, ti saluto.
Ciao.
Ci vediamo poi oggi.
Come vuoi?
Tanto oggi ritorno, vado in farmacia, poi porto delle cose che servono.
Dicevi una volta
Una volta dicevo quando ero piccola farmacia.
Farmacia.
Adesso dico farmacia.
Non
Sono
c'è
diventata
verso
grande. Ciao mammina.
Vuoi? Sempre così. Sei bambina?
Una volta.
markii kasbashkar iyo noloshaan la soo qiimeeyo boqolkiiba boqol noloshaan hadda aan soo talaabsanaa tii hore boqolkiiba boqol dhaanto
1, 2, 3, via, mamma.
No, aspetta.
Ma perché?
Oggi faccio una fatica a respirare. Si sente anche,
Sì.
moltissimo dad fiican oo wanaagsan ay ahayn wallahi man arkay ayagoo kaleeto waa arkan isma lihi laakiin horta wax walba iska qadari lahay hawada iga waxay aheeday maadaama had shaqo qundraad ay haysid oo beledkiina oo barbalama ka jiro iyo shaqadii oo ida dhamaatay iyo hadartaan oo shalay meeshii aan taagnay oo soo istaagay waxa waaye arrin aad igu murugo badan waaye marka ma ogola si ay noqon doonto sida ilaahay ka dhigay noqonaysaa laakiin waxa waaye hadda iyo koow iyo soo bilow
Mi marito se chiamava Ibrahim. Più grande si chiama Ifra, secondo Ilhan, terza Mariam, 4-0. Più grande 8 anni, secondo 7 anni, uno dopo l'altro. Adesso basta. Più.
marka hadda xafiis tago kala shaqaan weydiisan kara maxaa taqaanaa lagu leeyahay wax haddaan aan shahaado ka soo qaato oon xifradan soo bartay ma jirto midda kale waxa kale ku weydiinaya batanta ma leedahay oo qof gaari wadata ma tahay pero marka hadda aan shaqo kale inaan xafiis fariisto iyo inaan u shaqeeyo yani ma sugayo kale taliyaan habrale laga hayo inaan habrale aan helaan rajaynaa
Lei sta prendendo una pausa, poi dopo la pausa te vieni sul ceramico. Non mi vedete qua? No, non sono capace a fargliela.
Ti aiuto io.
Piega.
Ti aiuto io. Va bene? nolosha 10 sano hadda ka dhiman inaan noolaanayo horta in kale Allahu aclam ilaahay og boo wadankiina hadda wadan loo noqdo oo nabada ma jirto almuhiimna waxa ah nabada meesha ay taalo ku qad kirbiya ku cab meesha hadda nabad ku haysatid habiya ku haysataa marka horta wadan u noqona hadda ma dhihi kari bro waxaan rajaynaa insha Allah inaan ta shaqo helo ilmahayga hooyaday ka soo wato 2008 aprile sono venuta qua in Italia e adesso 2010 maggio speriamo bene.
That's it for this edition. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on Witness.
Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter. Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter.
As Washington's allies stumble, one after the other, exposed, losing control and influence, powerless in the face of the people's power, we ask, is this the dawn of a new Middle East? Empire at this time on Al Jazeera.
Volunteer tourism is booming in Cambodia, with more and more foreigners helping out in the country's orphanages and schools. But with claims of mismanagement and corruption, are these projects doing more harm than good? 101 East at this time on Al Jazeera.
There's no honorable way to kill. No gentle way to destroy. There is nothing good in war, except its ending.
This is Al Jazeera.
Welcome to the News Hour live from Doha. I'm Darine Abougaida from Al Jazeera News Centers in Doha, plus live from Washington, D.C. These are the top stories. Cairo protesters pile on the pressure. New faces make Tuesday's gathering the largest since the revolt began. But Egypt's shop owners say business has never been so bad. They're forced to trade just a few hours a day. Former Liberian President Charles Taylor's lawyer storms out of his war crimes tribunal at The Hague.
I'm Shabra Tansi in Washington with news from the Americas. Will he now return from exile? Al Jazeera learns that Haiti has issued former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide a passport.
And the fighters' return to Afghanistan reignites resentment of U.S.-run detention centers. It's just gone 11 p.m. in Egypt, and earlier on Tuesday, pro-democracy supporters took to the streets in huge numbers to make one thing clear: they still want President Hosni Mubarak out. Some estimates say the protests on Tuesday were the biggest yet, and here's where things stand. Well, this was the scene at Cairo's Tahrir, or Liberation Square, just a short while ago. Crowds have also gathered in front of the country's parliament, and it is the 15th day of continuous protests in the country. Well, all of those scenes, despite promises of reform. Speaking on state television, the Vice President, Omar Suleiman, he told the nation a committee was looking at constitutional changes. He also said that another committee would investigate last week's violence against the anti-Mubarak protesters. All this as his boss tried to give the impression that it was business as usual. He welcomed his first foreign guest since trouble began. President Hosni Mubarak held discussions with the United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed. Well, the UN's Secretary General addressed the crisis in Egypt a few hours ago, and he's repeated calls for an orderly transition of power.
As protests and discussions continue, I call on all parties to avoid violence and to ensure freedom of expression and information. Second, the Egyptian people are clearly frustrated and are calling for bold reforms. It is incumbent on the Egyptian leadership and that of any other country in the world to listen attentively to the legitimate concerns and aspirations of their people. A third, an orderly and peaceful transition is crucial. I hope that the genuine dialogue between the leaders and the people will lead to the beginning of such a process. The details of that process and indeed the future course of their country are entirely